Emily, I want to talk to you about the situation in the Middle East. Terrorist group Hamas has announced it will delay the release of the hostages and has, of course, accused Israel of violating the agreement. Israel says, though, that this announcement from Hamas is a complete violation of the ceasefire agreement. You know, hearing this news today, my heart just breaks for the families who are still waiting for their loved ones to come home. Sadly, we know that not all of them are alive, but you know, Emily, are you surprised that Hamas is doing this?
Wow, murderers, rapists are not following the law. That shocks me. Unfortunately, I'm saddened to even say this publicly. I feel the reason that they're doing this is because I'm afraid the hostages who are yet to come out might even be in worse condition than what we saw the other day.
Mm.
And the other day, we saw three men who went in there looking very healthy, coming out looking like they escaped Auschwitz or Birkenau or these horrible concentration camps, except the equivalency of comparing Hamas to the Nazis doesn't do justice, because I'll point out something very obvious. The Nazis tried to hide their crimes as much as possible when the war was nearing its end. They wanted to hide from humanity what they did and keep it a secret. Hamas is so publicly broadcasting, live streaming, taking pride in their murders, putting these hostages on stages like they're puppets that they're playing with, humiliating them on live television, and they're showing the world, look who we are. Yet some folks will act surprised when they see the dehumanization that Hamas is doing on the Israeli people and still choose to turn the blind eye. It's beyond me how you could still turn a blind eye in Hamas these days.
You're exactly right. Hamas is using this as a propaganda opportunity, and we saw those three hostages that had spent almost 500 days in captivity. They're reportedly suffering from severe physical and mental deterioration, including malnutrition, heart disorders, prolonged infection, which of course makes sense because the hostages endured physical, psychological abuse during their captivity. You know, looking at the images of them being paraded around by these terrorists just ahead of their release makes me feel so sick. I don't know how anyone can still support Hamas as they use this as a propaganda opportunity, Emily.
Of course. And, you know, I'll make your day a little bit better by sharing with you that about 20 minutes ago, Trump said that I think this Saturday, if Hamas does not release the remaining hostages, quote, all hell will break loose and it is over for them. So selfishly, I hope we reach what Saturday comes to and all hell does break loose, because now we have the US's support, which unfortunately Netanyahu did not have under the Biden administration. He was constantly suffocated. He was constantly giving red lines that he couldn't cross, aka don't go into Rafah. And then Israel goes into Rafah and they find their hostages there. So now that we have the support of the US president saying, if Hamas won't adhere to the ceasefire agreement, do what needs to be done, it feels good, both as an Israeli and as an American.
And if we didn't have Donald Trump back in power, we wouldn't have any of the hostages back at all. And we know that Trump's threats against Hamas work. They work to get that ceasefire agreement in the first place, and I'm sure they're going to work again. Look, I want to change gear here and end this on a lighter note. Let's talk about Donald Trump at the Super Bowl. It was absolutely iconic to see the crowd roar in support of him.
Through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we.
But it was a different reaction when the crowd saw Taylor Swift. Emily, what did you make of it all?
First of all, there's nothing more patriotic than a sitting American president, the very first in history to attend what's literally celebrating American excellence in sports. It's such a feeling of pride that we haven't felt in the last 4 years under Biden's administration. Now, the fact that Taylor Swift got booed, if I were there, I'd be booing too, because she, not even for a genuine reason, but because of her money, she got paid to endorse Kamala, who is possibly the worst candidate in history to ever run for president in the US. And football's a pretty patriotic sport. They're hardcore, American-loving, hardworking people who came to the Super Bowl. And now, if you need to choose between Donald Trump or Taylor Swift, I think they know which side to choose. But I want to go off on a tangent for a minute.
Sure.
Travis Kelce said that he was proud to have Donald Trump at the game. Now, Taylor Swift, let's just say I believe her that she actually endorsed Kamala. I just want to throw in there that I'm now skeptical that their whole relationship is fake, which has been a rumor, but now consider me convinced.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something, or there's probably a bit of trouble in paradise between Taylor Swift and her boyfriend.